Madhava Kunda Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Jashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Jashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Vihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Radha Madhava Radhe Jai Jagannath Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jai Jagannath Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Shri Radha Madhav Ki Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mohan Ki Jai Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ki Jai Shri Gaurnitai Ki Jai Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Samut Bhakti Ki Jai Hare Krishna. So, today we are going to discuss the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and we are going to start from verse number 19. And I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So before that, we'll have little recap and then we'll move on. Okay. So we'll start from Chatushtaki Bhagavad Gita and then we'll move on from there. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, this 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which talks about the opulences of the Absolute. And this is coming after 9th chapter, which is most confidential knowledge. And this chapter is talked about, and Krishna says that this is more confidential because he is going to tell Arjuna, and that way to us, how to see him in the opulences all around that we see in this material world. And then we talked about, Krishna talked about how he's so difficult to know the sages and asuras, they don't know him. So that we progressed. And then we came to the Chatushlaki Bhagavad Gita. Those are 8, 9, 10th and 11th verse of 10th chapter. And we talked about Sambandha, Avideya and Prayojana. These three aspects of Vedic literature, how those are there in 8th, 9th and 10th and 11th combined two verses. Sambandha, Avideya and Prayojana are discussed by Lord. So in 8th verse, Krishna talks about he's the source of everything, everything emanates from him. In the 9th verse, he talked about when the devotees know about this, they engage in devotional service and talk about him and they nourish each other that way. And then in the 10th verse, he says, those who are constantly engaged in his devotional service, he gives the understanding by which they can come to him. And the last of the four verses, he says, he shows special mercy by dwelling in their hearts. He destroys with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So after Krishna has spoken these 4 essential verses of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna speaks almost after 2 chapters as per the calculation of Bhagavad Gita. And he tells that he understands the various aspects of Krishna. And he's saying that you are eternal, you are transcendental, original person, unborn, the greatest. And then he says, whatever you say, I accept that as true. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency. O Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe. So we discussed all those aspects in the purport we have discussed. Now, Arjuna is putting this request in front of Krishna, that tell me in detail your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you? As Krishna said in the previous chapter, 4 instructions he gave. Manmana, Bhavamat Bhakta, Majjadimam Namaskar. So Manmana, how to think about him when we are immersed in the ocean of material existence. That is all about this 10th chapter. So in what various forms you are to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of God. He wants to get the approval from Krishna in what different forms he can be seen. And he says, "Oh Janardana, again, please describe in detail, not in nutshell, in detail, the mystic power of your opulences." And he's saying that don't think that, okay, I am satisfied, so you don't have to say anymore. Nothing like that. I am never satiated in hearing about you. For the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. So that far we have studied in the last session. Today we are going to discuss starting from verse number 90. So I'll first chant the word, then you can follow. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Hanta te kathayaswami Divya hi Atma Vibhutaya Pradhanayata Guru Sreshtha Nastiyanta Vistarasame. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Hanta te kathayaswami Divya hi Atma Vibhutaya Pradhanataya Guru Sreshtha Nasti Yanta Vistarasame. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Anta te kathayashyami Divya hi Atma Vibhutaya Pradhanantaya Guru Srishta Nasti Anta Vistarasame. Now you can chant.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha Hanta te kathaya swami Divya he Atma Vibhutaya Pradhanyatya Kurukshetra Nasti Anta Visharashame. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Hanta te kathaya swami Divya he Atma Vibhutaya Pradhanyatya Kurukshetra Nasti Anta Visharashame. Visharashame.
Okay. So then we go for word. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Anta, yes, te, unto you, Kathayasami, I shall speak. Divya, divine, he, certainly, Atma Vibhutaya, personal opulences, Pradhanataya, which are principal, Kuru Sreshta, O best of the Kurus, Na Asti, there is not, Anta, limit, Vistarasya, to the extent, me, my. So the translation is, you can read the translation.
Okay, Prabhuji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent. O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless.
Okay. So let's now do Mangala chant. Om Ajnantimirandhasya Garanjana Chakshurunmilitam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Sopadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakammalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagradatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadhaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधकांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिय वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नित्य नमिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे। हरे कृष्ण। So the translation again, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, yes, I'll tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent. O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. Now, before we go into the purport, let's say we hear about Krishna. He has such and such opulence. We hear somewhere. But what may happen that in this material world, when you go and you may find that, okay, this person is having this and this opulence, means a very politically strong person, or this person is very wise, or physically very strong, or beautiful, like this. What may happen? Those who have shaky faith or don't have much knowledge, they will consider that person as God. It happens in many places, like we can see in South. Sometimes people worship the film stars as God, like that. And obviously, those who are aborigines in the forest, they may find a big tree which may look like it is standing out from other trees. And then they start worshipping, whatever they are, Jingalala, whatever, right? So they start worshipping that tree, expecting some benefits will come by worshipping the tree. So that way, if we are not trained, if we don't have understanding, anything splendorous we may see, and we may think that disconnected from Krishna. And instead of enhancing our devotion, we may reduce our devotion, or we may fall out from devotion if we don't have the right knowledge. So therefore, we should connect everything to Krishna, because he already have said, Aham Sarvasya Prabhu, everything comes from me. So we need to keep that in mind, and we need to regulate that. For example, somebody may say, oh, Lord Shiva is so powerful. He looked macho, like that. Now, one may get confused if they don't have knowledge. But devotees, they don't care. Why? Because they respect Lord Shiva very much. And they say, Vaishnavanam Yatha Sambhu. He is the greatest of the Vaishnavas. So everything is reconciled properly. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and Lord Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava. So what is the difficulty, as Prabhupada said? So everything is properly reconciled. So that happens through proper transcendental knowledge. So now we need this knowledge to understand how Krishna can be seen in the different opulences. That's what we see in this material world. Now, here Krishna is saying that my opulences are unlimited, and it cannot be just narrated and documented and all. Therefore, I am telling you the prominent ones, not all the. So it is not possible to comprehend the greatness of Krishna and his opulences. The senses of the individual soul are limited and do not permit him to understand the totality of Krishna's affairs. So we have very limited capacity of our senses, which are imperfect. What can you understand about Krishna? We're talking about the highest absolute truth. Excuse me. So there, our free will have very limited influence or no influence. Only we can know about Krishna when Krishna will reveal himself to us. So for that purpose, we can do bhajan kirtan to please him. And if Krishna is pleased, anything is possible. We cannot understand Krishna's affairs in totality. But we need to purify our senses. This default senses, with those we cannot fathom Krishna or Krishna's power or peace. We need to train ourselves. We need to train our senses. So still the devotees try to understand Krishna, but not on the principle that they will be able to understand Krishna fully at any specific time or in any state of life. Krishna cannot be understood that way. That, okay, I'll become 50 or 60 or 70 years old. By that time, I'll know Krishna. No, it doesn't work that way. I'm very determined, I'll know Krishna, which is good, but only determination won't work. We need Krishna's mercy also. Without Krishna's mercy, we cannot see him, we cannot understand him. So, rather the very topics of Krishna are so relishable that they appear to the devotees as nectar. Thus, the devotees enjoy them. So, as Prabhupada said, the Krishna Katha is like a sweet or sweet cake, whatever. Wherever you taste it from, it is always tasty. So, Krishna Katha is always tasty. And it can drive away a lot of sorrows and lamentation from our life. In our life, many times it happens that we have a lot of sorrows and lamentation and we're going through a very rough patch. And it may continue for some time. But we have the choice to transcend. For that, we need to master the art of Krishna consciousness. Means we need to develop our mind, our consciousness to be always fixed on Krishna. That is very, very important. Then we may not feel the pangs of this material world. One time, Srila Prabhupada was talking to some outsiders and all, and he had a very infected tooth, and it was giving a lot of pain, but he was tolerating. Then he said, give me a club, long, right? So he put that on his tooth and he was talking. He had the power to transcend. And later on, he called his servant and just picked up the tooth and gave it to him. That's it. And then he continued his discussion. Means he was so much absorbed in his duty or his preaching work that he didn't give so much of importance to that. So that was already noticed by the devotees. And they, at least theoretically, they learned a lesson from that. How a transcendental person can transcend the modes of materialism. And this is possible. Prabhupada is situated in transcendental platform. And therefore, having the higher taste, he can easily ignore the lower taste. That is the advantage. Param drishta nivarta. So, thus devotees enjoy them in discussing Krishna's opulences and his divine energies. The pure devotees take transcendental pleasure. Kathantascha ma nityam tushanti cha pramanti cha. They enjoy discussing topics of Krishna. And we can experiment that. We don't have to be a very advanced devotee for that purpose. We need to know some about Krishna. And when you find like-minded people, we can share the thoughts, exchange the thoughts, and we feel good. That is the power of Krishna Katha. It never becomes stale. The story of Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, they are very like ancient stories, right? But they are told and retold again and again. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to hear almost for 50 times. Never he used to get sick. That much was the eagerness. That much was the eagerness to hear about Krishna, hear about Krishna's devotees. So therefore, they want to hear and discuss them. Devotees want to hear and discuss them. Krishna knows that living entities do not understand the extent of his opulences. Obviously, living entity won't know until unless he would reveal. He therefore agrees to state only the principal manifestations of his different energies. So Krishna is going to tell the only principal ones, not all the others. The word pradhanataya, principle, is very important because we can understand only a few of the principal details of the Supreme Lord. For his features are unlimited. It is not possible to understand them all. And vibhuti, as used in this verse, refers to the opulences by which he controls the whole manifestation. He controls the whole manifestation. So in the Amarakosh, there is a dictionary in Sanskrit, Amarakosh. So it is stated that vibhuti indicates an exceptional opulence. So what is the meaning of vibhuti? It's exceptional opulence. So when we are talking about, this is Vibhuti Yoga, this chapter. So we are talking about exceptional opulence, not like just opulence, exceptional opulence. Then we'll see what does Krishna mean by that. The impersonalist or pantheist cannot understand the exceptional opulences of the Supreme Lord, nor the manifestations of his divine energies. Both in the material world and in the spiritual world, his energies are distributed in every variety of manifestations. There are so many different varieties of manifestations. Everywhere his opulences are spread out. Now Krishna is describing what can be directly perceived by the common man, what can be directly perceived. Thus, part of his variegated energy is described in this way. How he can be perceived in the different creations. So his variegated energies are described in this way. So there are different creation in this world which are in different modes, and they are getting created by the energy of Krishna. And how they can be perceived in this material manifestation, that's what Krishna is going to tell now. So now Krishna has started telling Arjuna, Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutasya Sthitah Aham Adishcha Madhyam Cha Bhutanam Anta eva cha. Aham atma gudakesha sarvabhutesha bhutesha stita. Aham adischa madhyam cha bhutanam anta eva cha. Aham, say I, Atma, the soul, Gudakesha or Arjuna. Arjuna is called by the name Gudakesha. We will see the meaning. Sarva Bhuta, all of living entities. Asya situated within the heart. Aham, I am. Adi, the original. Cha, also. Madhyam means middle. Cha, also. Bhutanam, of all living entities. Anta and Eva, suddenly Cha, and. So the translation is, again, Mataji, you can read the translation.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So, I am the super soul, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings.
So Krishna is sitting in the heart of everybody as super soul. As super soul, he is not biased basically. It is only Krishna who is biased. Super soul is kind of neutral, means if you have to face something bad, that is as per karma, so he will, he will allow you to have bad consequence because of previous bad task. And if it is good, then super soul will arrange for us to enjoy. Basically, he is Anumanta and Upadrashta. He approves and he observes. That is super soul. So he's saying, I'm sitting in everyone's heart, and I'm the beginning, middle, and the end of all things. So this is the way Krishna is everywhere. He was there in the beginning, in the middle, and the end. He says in 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that at the beginning there is nothing, only I. And at the end, I will only remain. Because everything else will get destroyed. And even Mahatata, everything will enter into the body of Krishna. That way, nothing will remain outside. Like that. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying, in this verse, Arjuna is addressed as Budakesha, which means one who has conquered the darkness of sleep. Budakesha. So darkness of sleep is conquered by Arjuna. That's why he's called Budakesha. For those who are sleeping in the darkness of ignorance, it is not possible to understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests. He manifests himself in various types of the material and spiritual worlds. He manifests himself at various types in the material and spiritual world. And thus this address by Krishna to Arjuna is significant because Arjuna is above such darkness. The personality of Godhead agrees to describe his various opulences. So Arjuna was requesting to Krishna to show his opulences. So now Krishna agrees to show his opulences. What he says first, Krishna first informs Arjuna that he is the soul of the entire cosmic manifestation. He is the soul. By dint of primary expansion, he is the soul of the entire cosmic manifestation. Before the material creation, the Supreme Lord, by his primary expansion, accepts the Purusha incarnation, and from him everything begins. So first we know the first Chaturma from From Krishna comes Balaram, and from Balaram comes the Chaturbhuja, Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Anuruddha. This is the first Chaturbhuja. And then from the first comes the second Chaturbhuja, and then from the second Chaturbhuja comes Mahavishnu, from him Garvadakashayi Vishnu, Shiradakashayi Vishnu. That way there are three Vishnus. Vishnus are Tini Rupan. So it is mentioned in the scripture. So that are three Vishnu forms are there. So these are the expansions coming from Krishna. He's not doing things by himself. Many things are easily getting done by the expansion itself. He is just busy playing flute and having nice time with the devotees because other things are automatically and easily uh, uh, completed, without he directly intervening in that. Just by his wish, things can easily get completed. Therefore, he is Atma, the soul of Mahatattva, the universal elements. The total material energy is not the cause of the creation. So we see material energy all around us. It may be depositing a lot of sand in some place and then creating a land out. So we may say, okay, this river is the cause for this sand deposit, and now we have a land which can be reclaimed. So material nature is not the direct cause. It may look like it is involved in that activity, but Lord is the ultimate cause. So the total material energy is not the cause of the creation. Actually, the Mahavishnu enters into the Mahatattva, the total material energy. So Mahavishnu enters into the total material energy. He is the soul. When Mahavishnu enters into the manifested universes, he again manifests himself as a super soul in each and every entity. We have experienced that the personal body of the living entity exists due to the presence of the spiritual spark. So that spirit soul is there in the body. That's why the body comes into motion, body acts, because the presence of the spark of the Lord. So without the existence of the spiritual spark, the body cannot develop. The soul should be there in the body. Then only the body can develop, otherwise not. So similarly, the material manifestation cannot develop unless the Supreme Soul Krishna enters. So Lord has to enter. Lord has to make sure things are happening. And then these things happen. He expands and expands, that way he enters. He enters into the universes and makes sure things are happening correctly, properly. As stated in the Subala Upanishad, Prakrite Adi Sarva Bhutanta Yami Sarva Sheshi Cha Narayana. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is existing at the super soul in all manifested universes. Supreme Soul is there in the entire manifested universe. The three Purusha avatars are described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Vishnusto Tinarupinam. Three forms. What are the three forms? Karanadakashay Vishnu, Garvadakashay Vishnu, and Shiradakashay Vishnu. Hmm. They are also described in the Narada Pancharatra, one of the Satpada Tantras. Vishnustu Trini Rupani, Purusakhyani Ato Vidu. So Vishnu has three forms: Garvadakashay Vishnu, Mahavishnu, Garvadakashay Vishnu, and Shiradakashay Vishnu. That's what is told here. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests three features as Karanadakashay Vishnu, Garvadakashay Vishnu, and Shiradakashay Vishnu. In this material manifestation, the Mahavishnu or Karanadakashay Vishnu is described in Brahma Samhita. Ye karana navajale bhajati smayoga nityam. The Supreme Lord, Krishna, the cause of all causes, lies down in the cosmic ocean as Mahavishnu. So this is expansion of Lord, expansion of like that, multiple expansions. So he is lying now in the cosmic ocean as Mahavishnu. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the beginning of this universe. He is the beginning because he was there at the beginning. Nobody else was there. And whoever came, they came afterwards. So they may not know that Krishna, until Krishna says that he is in the beginning, he was in the beginning of the universe. The maintainer of the universal manifestation and the end of all energy. So he is the beginning of this universe, the maintainer of the universe, universal manifestations, and at the end of all energy. So he is everything basically. He's the beginning of the universe, the maintainer, he stays in the middle, and at the end, when everything else gets restored, he's there. He's there. So Lord is there in these different forms, diffused in this material world. Then it's a matter of time. It gets manifested time to time. So Lord is there everywhere. Without his mercy, nothing can happen. Neither creation can happen, then maintenance, neither maintenance can happen, neither destruction can happen. So it is Krishna whose force is helping us to understand that how the universe is structured, how the universe functions, how the living entities comes into existence, how they live together in this material world in a collaborative way, how the living entities remain in this world. And so Krishna is there everywhere to help us. And eventually, everything else will get destroyed, and Krishna will remain. That's the case. So Krishna is there in the Adi, he is in the Madhya, and he is in the Anta. He is there everywhere. So again, going back to the translation, I am the super soul or Arjuna seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. So Krishna is there everywhere, is the middle, is in the beginning, and is the I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of things. So he is there everywhere. Everything comes from him, everything goes back to him, and he is the sole proprietor of everything. So that's the situation here. So Krishna is telling the aspects of his opulences in nutshell, and the principal ones is going to speak, not all the ones. So different opulences, we'll see how many opulences Krishna is going to talk about. Where looking at those opulences, we can know about Krishna. So that's the intention. That's so that manmana means when we are in this world, we should be able to think about Krishna. So that is means whatever the manifestations we'll see all around us, that should remind us about Krishna. And how it can remind us, that's what Krishna is helping us to understand. Because he is saying the best of the species in any category is myself. So best of the category, we'll discuss what are the different things, best of the category. So he's saying, I am that. So that way, Krishna is giving understanding how to see his opulences and how to get connected to Krishna and appreciate more and more these opulences. That way, our devotion becomes deeper and deeper. So with that, I'm going to pause over here for today. So any question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, not it.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, like in Bhagavad Gita, we have heard that the soul, uh, the size of the soul is 10,000 parts of a tip of a hair. So, like, is there any description for how the super soul is? Is it like that? Or, and another question is like, how to understand the super soul as a living reality? Like, we can always remember that Krishna is in my heart. So, how to develop that consciousness?
Super soul, it is given some description, is a thumb size, right? That's the
Yes.
super soul. But we cannot just always go by, it's spiritual. How can we measure using our material understanding? Because there are some insects, the microbes, which you cannot see directly. In those also, Krishna is there as super soul, situated out there. But in general, it is said that it's a thumb size, like that. And how we can understand Krishna is there in our heart, super soul. We need to be bit aware of that and understand a lot of things happen. The super soul prompts us, and we do which we might not have done. Right? Super soul prompts us.
Like intuition.
Yeah, intuition. I mean, you can say those who will have more faith on themselves due to ignorance, obviously, they'll call it intuition. And those who have faith on God, super soul, they'll say, God reminded us, like that. So let's say you, I mean, exact example I'm not able to form, but let's say you wanted to go in the right direction. But due to some thought, all of a sudden came in the final moment, you started going the left direction. And then you realize that, oh, if I would not have come in the left direction, I would have missed something which is very, very important for me. So Supercell was guiding you like that. And if you are connected with Super Soul, you will see that those things are being heard by Lord, who is there the closest to us. Super Soul is very close to us. He's there in the heart. So he reciprocates. He reciprocates so that we can understand his presence. Any other question?
And yes, Prabhuji, you said that the super soul is thumb size. So is it like the soul is there and the super soul is covering the soul? And that is because I read somewhere in Srila Prabhupada's, I think, one small book, that consciousness is the symptom of the soul. So, so that way the soul is there and the super soul is the outer, covering the soul, and then the consciousness gets projected, and the super soul is protecting the soul. Is it something like that, or the super soul and the soul is separately present in the heart?
So he says, Ishara Sarvabhutanam Riddhashya Arjuna Tishta. He says, I stay in the heart of the living entity. So who is the living entity? The living entity is the body, or living entity is the soul. So he stays in the heart of the soul. Right? So there he stays. So he cannot just go by the mundane measurement of soul. Hmm. He cannot say like that. Hmm. It is transcendental. Super soul is transcendental, and soul is also transcendental. This is some indication given what can be the dimension, but it's unfathomable to understand their size and all. Hmm. Unfathomable. But he stays. Ishara Sarvabhutanam Riddhasya Arjuna. He stays the heart as a super soul. Yeah. Any other question? Or you're not clear?
No. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So we are a part and parcel of the Supreme Soul, Super Soul, or Lord. That's why we are conscious. So consciousness is the symptom of the living entity.
Yes.
That even the trees are also conscious, but their consciousness is covered because the trees are different creatures. They are living entities, but they have uh, their senses are not that active like
Structure.
the animals or man or higher living entities. But
So like,
they're living entities.
for them, the like material energy or the prakriti is it because that is very simple, and that's why it does not get manifested, that consciousness? But
What?
soul and super soul is both there, but because like the internal structure is like that, very simple, so that's why the consciousness does not get manifested. So this,
See, the point is one develops the body of next life by their own karma. So in this life, one may do some karma through which one developed stotram cha sparshanam cha rasanam grahana vivacha. Hmm. So our what kind of ear we are going to have, what kind of eyes, and all those things, it will depend on what kind of consciousness we are developing. Let's say one foolish person would like to uh, become a dog. Hmm. He was going very nice, everything was going fine, and all of a sudden there's a U-turn. Now the turn is there, that person is going to become a dog. Okay. But that person doesn't have any experience of dog. How that person will become dog? Who is going to train that person to become a dog? And no, no, not in a hard way. Teach me, teach me in a very soft way, amicable way, how to become a dog. Okay, Super Soul has the arrangement, how to become a dog in a very smooth way. Okay, just you will give the feeling, oh, I'm feeling very lonely. That's it. Or maybe a dog is a good partner. So you get a dog to spend the time. So then you'll observe, okay, what kind of food dog eats? It's maybe delicious, this and that, whatever. You know, I like the way the dog barks. Other neighbors may be complaining, So then after all, it's not bad. And I was, praising people have fingers, they can, you know, hold something. Okay, this is my pet dog. You don't have to hold things. I'll hold it for you. It's okay. But anyway, you have mouth. You're holding so nicely. You're looking cute. This and that. So they will develop lots and lots of appreciation for the dog. Prabhupada used to say, like, there's one person is holding the leash of the dog and walking the park. Dog is leading the way and the man is going behind. And when the dog is answering to the nature's call, the man is just picking it up like that. So serving. So Prabhupada used to say, those who don't serve God, they serve dog. Right?
Yes.
Now, now the point is definitely people will develop lots and lots of affection. Hmm. Some people like to sleep embracing the dog and like that. So this consciousness will develop gradually. In due course of time, when they will die, they will think about dog only, and then they will get dog's body in the next life. That's the
Too
way
much
it works.
attachment to something.
Yeah, that's the way it works. Now, how to become tree and all, that also requires another kind of training. So as Prabhupada, I mean, the photos are given Bhagavad Gita, that if somebody is naked and all. So like what happened with Nalakupara and Marigriva, they were cursed by Narad Muni to become trees in their next life. So that looks like a natural progression, that if trees doesn't require any clothing. So if somebody is very much into that category, then their natural destination is like that. So it happens after all due to karma when it is a degradation, or it may happen due to elevation from the, like amoeba and all, they're also living entities. And from there, I mean, there are plant species, right?
Yes.
Who are maybe fungus or something like that. From there, they will gradually develop and eventually they will become big trees, right? And there are difference in trees also. There are sinful trees, there are pious trees. Do you know that? Yes, no.
No,
Okay. There are some pious trees and then there are sinful trees. Similarly, there are pious
like
birds.
banyan tree.
Yeah, they are like pious trees. And those flower-bearing trees, like those mm, flowers, and that too they have fragrance. How? Then those flowers will be plucked and they will be offered to Krishna. And it is said, the flowers of the tree, if it is offered to Krishna, then that tree gets human life in next birth. So that way things are there. Krishna's arrangements are there, right? So the
So
point
it is
is
about
the point is trees don't have sensation. That's the way they are made. Yeah. Yes, you're saying something.
yes, so Prabhuji, it is about how we develop our consciousness and the entire life, so that at the end we remember that only.
Remember what? Trees.
What no, like if we are constantly engaging in devotional service and everything, so then at the end also we will think of Krishna only. If we get detached, or as you said, not to attach, not to detach from other things, but like in a moderation everything is there, but we are attached to Krishna, so then automatically at the end we will think of Krishna, and like that.
Automatic. Automatic.
No, I mean at the time of death. So, like, if a person is very much, like, I remember the story of Ajamila, like, he was very much, I mean, attached to his son. So, he was calling his name, but that was fortunate for him that his name was Narayana. But so, if someone is very much attached to Krishna, and so then they will utter only Krishna's name now in the end, then there is a lot of pain.
It
And
requires a lot of practice and mercy, devotee association, all those things accumulated, then the final result is like that. But we should not use the word automatic. Automatic is, yeah, it's too much. We never know. Because when you chant, is it like we start chanting now, maybe 2, 3 minutes, 5 minutes later, is it like automatically we remember Krishna?
one first round, second round is first round is very good. Then second round, onwards the quality starts deteriorating. It happens for me.
Somebody may have deterioration in the first round itself. So
Yes, that
all things
also
are,
happens for me.
yeah. So all these are possible. So actually, all these big questions answers are there in the chanting. Okay, how I'll see Krishna? If you do proper chanting, you cannot. But if you do proper chanting, you will see Krishna. You will see his Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila, Bhakti, Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has said. If you do proper chanting, in due course of time, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila, everything will be manifested for you. You don't have to endeavor for it separately.
Manifested means, Prabhuji, it will be like with physical eyes, I will be, one devotee will be able to see, or like
Our eyes may,
it,
everything is possible. Our eyes may become translated eyes. Anything is possible.
oh,
Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila, uh, that will get manifested to us. How all those mechanisms, those who know, they may not reveal to us, but rather they will reveal to us the process through which we can achieve this.
mm, yes. Prabhuji,
That's
like you said, to maintain the consciousness throughout the life and not get too much attached, like the dog, that person who was attached to the dog. We should not be like that. So, if say some devotee, boy or girl, they marry and then they have a child, and then like I have seen that mothers are very much attached to their children, like in
hmm.
general. So they will be too much detached from Krishna consciousness now during that period, like during pregnancy and after the birth of the child. So they will be always occupied thinking about the child's growth and all. So then how will they retain their consciousness during that period? So just for curiosity again.
That's okay. That's not a problem. Mother has to take care of the child nicely because child needs mother's care, and mother also has direct indirect needs to take care of the child. So that's fine. And so, what is the first expectation comes from the child? Uh, Komarat Acharat, right there. So, around 5 years when the child, I mean, devotees can start earlier also, but 5 years, when the child is 5 years, one should be given Krishna consciousness. Now, the thing is, main aspect is to develop Krishna consciousness by ourselves and give it to the offsprings, the children. If we are not Krishna conscious, what will we give? And as long as detachment is concerned, even somebody is not Krishna conscious, the detachment is built in the system. It will kick in due course of time. How? If mother remains very attached, she cannot do good to the child. She will say, okay, you are taking my child to the nursery or play school, I'll go with the child. Hmm. So if you remain so attached, you can never do good to the child. Okay. And then the child said, okay, child will go away from me, going to play soccer. Hmm? Okay. So,
The mother will also play soccer,
okay. So the thing is,
holding the child's hand.
yeah, and best contribution she can do in the exam hall, right? Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji, I feel your attachment is required.
Yeah, if you are a subject teacher, you can help a lot. So the thing is, the system is built in such a way that even if you are going in the beyond play school, or even in the play school or somewhere, kindergarten also, teachers will tell you, stay away from the child. Let the child grow in his or her own way, right? So
Yes,
system will tell you, be detached. You'll come to know from people, be detached. Then when will child will become 16 or in some cases 18 years old, oh, I cannot leave the child alone. Okay, go to this college, get admission, like that. Stay in the hostel, like that,
yes.
right?
Some parents do that, Prabhuji. Like
Hmm.
when
There are different kinds of detachment built in the system. For example, when the sun grows up, the sun, their tradition, many within Hindu tradition, it's there that when the son gets married, mother is not supposed to go on the marriage day along with the son. She stays at home.
oh yes, yes. For
Yeah,
Bengalis it is there.
yeah. So everywhere there's a reason and all those things, right?
Oh, that
So
is for preventing attachment.
I mean, I
I
don't
did
want to
not
come.
know.
I don't
Oh,
want to comment. I don't know comment on that. But just looking at, I mean, I like to explore that. But just looking at that, you can understand that also helps in developing detachment. There are
yes.
many things like that. It's inbuilt in the system, detachment. Like father does kanyadan and all. What is all about? So you're made aware that you are giving your daughter in charity. So when you give charity, we don't claim it back.
Yes.
Like that, there are system built. Detachment is built in the system, right? And and then ultimate detachment comes. Somebody dies. Okay, keep the dead body as long as you want, and test your attachment. The smell will come, and one will understand. But there are people in ignorance, and there are some countries and some places where they keep the dead body in the house. They dress it, and in the worst case, there are some people. Southeast of Asia somewhere. They bury the dead body, and on the special occasions they again exhume, and they take out the dead body out of it. These are extreme attachments and all. But these
Yes.
are the system is so natural in the Vedic process that once the body is dead, that person cannot take care of themselves because that person is dead. But that
Hmm.
doesn't mean their body should be misused. There are different ways the body can be misused or abused and all. So then, when everybody's emotion is high, everybody's eager to take care and help and all, just cremate the body uh, in front of your eyes and let all the um, different parts of the body, I mean, panchabhut, like bhumina, panalo, I mean, all these elements that get mixed with their respective elements. Air will get mixed with air, fire with fire, water with water. That's the way Lord has built. So, I mean, you see, there's a lot of um, problematic situation gets dissolved because people follow the process. Everything is gone, only that asti, that temple bone, that remains. And that also what should be done, that is also given in the scripture. So if you follow that, you get rid of lots of pain. Otherwise, what will happen? Somebody will come. You know, your such and such person died 3 years back. I just saw that cemetery and I found that they are exhuming that place, taking out the body. Then what will happen? Oh, after death also I have a lot of pain. I'll have to guard that body, this and that, make sure nothing wrong is happening. Right? It happens, right? It happens. So then people put the body without proper coffin and all. Then people will complain it is mixing with the ground, creating germs, blah blah, all those things. Drinking water,
Yes.
getting contaminated, all those. You get rid of all those things by scientifically doing this. I mean, I'm not against any faith or something. I'm just saying,
Paranormal thing can also happen now. It happens.
I'm just appreciating
There
the
can do
Vedic process.
in the
Uh,
Dharma.
yeah, I'm not against any other um, process of disposing the dead body also. I'm just saying I'm appreciating the Vedic process, the way it is done. It's very scientific.
Yes. And it's the best.
And yeah, and it helps, to get detached from the body.
Yes.
You may cry and all, but I mean, that body, the purpose is done. The body is dead, and the person has gone from the body, so body is dead, so it should be disposed of in a proper way. So the way God has given us the rule, in the God's way.
Yes.
and the soul will go to a different body, or maybe the body is almost ready. So
Usually people are like get detached within a short time only after the death, because they understand that the soul has gone to like God. Like in general, people say like very few people, they can be very attached and for years they might be crying,
yes,
something like that. But
yes, the expectation is now, what is the expectation? How you should behave. The
mm,
expectation is that you are attached to that person. You may have some bodily connection, which is okay because you are not Paramhamsa, right? So you will be attached. That is okay. You will cry and all those things. It's okay. But
mm,
after some time, you should become detached and you should carry on your thing, because everybody is going to the same destination. In the sense, everybody is going to die. The
yes,
destination, I'm not saying everybody is going to hell or heaven or whatever. It may be different, but everybody is going to die.
yes,
So there is no point of lamenting too much, because your time is ticking. Your time is ticking. Everybody's time is ticking.
we can
And
have pray.
and the person, believe me, the person, maybe you have taken care of that person physically by um, providing food or this and that. In different ways, you might have taken care of that person. But maybe you haven't taken care of that person spiritually. Maybe nobody told you, but
Mm,
you have taken a good care of that person with full intention, proper intention. But now your eyes are opened up, somebody is giving you spiritual knowledge. You know, after death, you may do much better service to that person compared to when that person was alive
right.
spiritually. And for doing good spiritually for another person, you don't need that person to have body. Just for example, one can do Pindadan in Gaya. Hmm?
Yes,
So that's a great service, and that happens only for dead people. And it's a big service after that person
yes,
left body. So this is just one thing. And becoming a pure devotee, if we are connected to that person, if we are son or daughter or whoever connected to that person, if we become a pure devotee, we do a great service to that person, and that person will get benefit. Let's say we are son or daughter of a person, and if we become a pure devotee, then what will happen? It logic will be, oh, see, this person who died gave birth to, or was the father or mother of this child. Because they have given birth to this child, that person has got the opportunity of human birth and become a devotee. So they are responsible for that. So they should get benefit. So then God gives some benefit to them. So that way, it's like in some places it is mentioned 7 generation,
yes.
uh, I mean, before and after. Somewhere it is 21, whatever number of generations before and after they get benefited if
If
somebody
their
becomes a
souls
pure
get
devotee.
excited, this something I
Yeah,
heard.
yeah. If somebody
Yes.
becomes a pure devotee, that's what happens. So yeah, I think we went too far in our discussion, but these are the facts.
And we can also offer some bhoga to Krishna and then provide the remnants, prasadam to the deceased ones. So that way also we can uh, benefit.
Yeah, yeah. There are some proper process we need to follow that. Just we do um, Pindadan and all, right? There are some proper process that way it should be done.
Yes.
Okay. Any other question?
No problem.
Okay. Thank you for your time, Mataji.
Thank you
Hare
so
Krishna.
much. Hare Krishna.
Shila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad
Jai.
Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna.